Okay, so here we have with the first ever interview of the podcast, Summerfest 2020 champion Patrician Pat. How you doing, Pat?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Doing good. Okay, so for anybody who don't know, the Summerfest is an officially sponsored Bushy Road tournament, invitation only. And the way you got these invitations was from winning tournaments or be top 12 on global or one of the few streamers slash influencers that got an invite. So Pat, how did you qualify?
I qualified by winning one of the free Tuesday weeklies. It was the first one of this of the invitations for this invitational. So I
So
managed to
you
got
won
a
the
perfect
very
score.
first tournament that was sent out invites?
Nah. It was the first free tournament.
Okay.
Yeah.
And but you could also get the invitation from placing top one, two, three. Where did you place?
I topped. I
Okay, so
got
you won the entire thing.
yeah, of course.
Okay. And going into this tournament, what were the decks that you used?
MLB OTT.
All right. So for anybody that's a fan of the tournaments that I host, I think we all knew you would use OTT, and we also later on figured out you would use MLB. But for people that aren't familiar with you, why did you choose those two decks?
Well, I picked MLB for the same reason why every other person in top eight picked MLB, because it's meta, because it's consistent, because it never fails, and there's just nothing that can play at the level that MLB can play at this point in time, and probably until like set eight or something. Because I don't see MLB stopping. It's just too consistent. And as for OTT, I like OTT because it's comfort food for me. It just feels good to use. I picked it up in set two, and it's just the level of control that you get with the deck. It's just unrivaled compared to any other deck I played. I tried DOTE, I tried Shadows, I tried Narukami. None of it works. It doesn't do what OTT can do for me.
Okay. So those were your decks going into this tournament. Now, before we break down a few specific matches, just in general, what were your feelings towards the level of competitiveness that this tournament had?
It was a pretty stacked tournament. It was a pretty stacked tournament. There are a lot of big names. Matches were really close. It was. I was definitely. I wasn't. I wouldn't say scared, but cautious to my adversaries. But
Mm,
you know, I got to do what I got to do, and I was ready. I was ready for anything.
okay, I like that. He was ready for anything. I like the mentality. Okay, so before we get into the championship match, and maybe the answer is the championship match, what was the hardest match for you during your championship run?
Pro- probably probably anything with MLB. Most of my OTT versus MLB games, um, I feel like I need to have a good amount of control for the stack
Hmm.
to like get on an even playing field. And if I don't have that, or if I miss one of the moons, then the game's just over. But yeah, most MLB games is Tsukuyomi. Anything else was either like a coin toss, or or I felt fairly confident. Most matchups, I feel spikes, Narukami. What else? What else was I up again? Shadows. Most of it. Well, most of it is manageable. It's just a permacrate with the ability to put back heals that get to me. But besides that, most of my matches are fine.
Okay. Now you mentioned controlling your stack, which is really specific to the OTT deck. Now I faced someone in the tournament because for those of you who don't know, I was able to qualify very last minute, and I faced an OTT deck, and he actually timed out one of his turns, and I believe he was trying to figure out exactly what order his stack was. So, could you just give a real simple explanation of how to do that, and under pressure, just how tough is that?
So the way I stack is using an Excel file. I put in the grades, or I have keywords: grade one, grade two, the type of trigger, heal, stand.
Okay, so pause. So
Yeah.
while you're dueling, you have an Excel file pulled up and you're typing in the units.
Yes, in real time.
That's dedication. Okay, continue.
So that's what I end up doing to get an understanding of the stack. And Excel, Google Sheets, either or, is beautiful. They number it for you. So you just have to do some easy subtraction to know when you're gonna hit your stack. You if you mess up, you can move it by one. It's great. It's great. And as for what you should do when you're under pressure, you usually want to plan out the turn, but before the turn. So like when I'm at grade one, grade two, looking at top five, and my opponent's like writing and doing the basic stuff, I'm thinking about what I'm doing for those turns when I get to that point of the stack specifically, how I feel like I'm gonna play that out, what should I do, how should I move stuff around in the stack prior to when I even get to that point, and that allows me to be more prepared for when I get into those situations where I'm looking at a tough stack and I need to figure out how to filter it, because that's typically how I feel like I lose my games anyways. I look at the stack, I'm trying to figure out what to do, and then I'm on the clock, and then I rush to do something and I make a misplay like that.
Okay, and so you, like you say, you found the spreadsheet or just writing it out in a document helps you not only manage time better but manage the stack better.
Absolutely. I find it, you'd have to be really talented to be able to play Tsukiyomi without either writing down the stack or having some sort of like note system to track down the cards.
Okay. Gotcha. So that's a little bit of the magic behind the OTT god that is Patrician Pat. Again, he's a regular in a tournament that I host, the Vanguard Zero Circuit. We're in season 2 of it. He was the most dominant player in season 1 of it. Had a little bit of struggle this current season, right? You're not really as dominant as you were, but it seems like you weren't just losing, you were learning. And how much of a factor was pretty much getting stomped in this season of the circuit? How much was it a factor in helping you go into the Summerfest with confidence?
It was definitely a learning experience. Yes. As for how it helped me, it was really just understanding the MLB matchup with MLB versus MLB and MLB versus anything that's not MLB, and being confident in the fact that I can win even if I'm down a game, even if as long as it's not, as long as I'm able to win the game, or even as long as the only game they win is the one that they use MLB, I don't have to worry about the next 2 games, because I know MLB's hyper consistent and is going to beat whatever other clan they use, and I know my deck. I know how to use OTT well enough that I should be confident in how I manipulate the stack, so that no matter what other clan my opponent plays, I'll be able to figure a way around that. So the circuits help me get a better understanding of how to play MLB, and also help me learn how to be confident even if I'm down a game or if I'm not in the best position.
Okay. Now, honing in back to the championship match of Summerfest, So you make it to the championship match. How do you feel? Are you excited, nervous, calm? Talk me through it.
Calm, calm. I try to be as absolutely calm as possible. I no music, nothing. I just sit down, got the laptop out, I hear the commentary, and that's it. So I can be hyper focused on this game.
I
And
like that.
yeah,
Hyper focus. I try to do that. Now, I used to be a competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links player. And in that realm, music helped me a lot. I tried that for the Summerfest. Music has never been louder in my ear than playing Vanguard in a competitive setting. I had to turn the music off. So I feel you with that one. So game one, what did you see? And actually, I don't know the result. Did you win or lose?
I won game one. I did win game one. It was an MLB mirror.
Okay. Oh, MLB Mirror. What do you think was the key to help you win that one?
Uh, Turn my brain off and ran
Turn your
Vanguard.
brain off and ram. Okay. Did you damage starve or did you just hit every chance you got?
Yeah, I pushed the grade one. The moment I could, I dropped two grade ones, push for two damage, and I just push, push, push. Because I had two PGs in hand, and I think I was like missing one of the pieces. I think it was I think it was BD. But the mindset is that if if I'm pushing them at grade one, they're going to have to respond by pushing me back. So even if I'm missing a piece, or yeah. So typically, if I'm missing a piece, I usually just push if I'm going second, just so I could get that third piece out. And then, fortunately enough for that hand, I believe I had two PGs in it, two or one in the opening hand. So I figured even if I gave him the other pieces, I'd be able to out damage him, so I wouldn't have to worry about like getting to a stally late game where I made the mistake of giving him MLB or I don't have MLB. So it was just a matter of ramming, and whoever had more PGs in their hand won. And I was lucky enough to be the person with more PGs.
Okay. So typically, if you have 1 to 2 PGs, you're going to rush in the mirror. If you have none, do you play it differently?
If they reshuffle two or two or more cards, I typically just damage stall. I feel like it's not worth the risk. But if it's one or less, you just assume they have MLB and you gotta go in anyway.
Okay. Now, game two, did you win or lose?
I won game two as well.
So you two old in the championship. What was the matchup for game two?
MLB versus OTT.
Now, what did you see there that helped you to win?
Uh, so that game was very specific, or my mindset was very specific due to the circumstances around the game. I soul charged two toms, and then because I only played three toms, and then the last tom got put in the damage, so I couldn't think about the tom win con in that game reliably, but the way he was playing, he didn't have a lot of cards in hand, so I just assumed he didn't have enough PGs to protect himself for a long period of time. So it was just a matter of rushing and out pressuring MLB, and it's not as easy as it sounds. But I was pretty fortunate enough to have very good heal stacks. I think I had a heal. I think it was heal G2 G1 double heal, and then I managed to stack it in a way that even if he went Vanguard, even if he went rear guard MLB, I still would have been fine because of the double heal. So no matter what the position was, I was fortunate enough to have the stack in my favor that game, and then I managed to win without the tom.
Okay. So it sounds like, because this will be the first time I think people, one, hear you speak, and two, actually get into your Vanguard mind, and it sounds like you're much more of a cerebral player than people give you credit for. Because you see the memes, just OTT, Tom, and Pat wins, right? But it sounds like you've got Excel spreadsheets open. You're typing out essays. Like, you're really thinking about the best possible way to win every game.
That is what I try to do. That is what I try to do every tournament, because I feel like if I don't think of every possible situation, and I say, all right, well, I got Tom in my hand, they're at 5 damage, let me just attack and hope for the best, and it doesn't go my way, I'm going to feel like it's my fault, because I know my whole deck, I know my stack, I know how many triggers my opponent has. If my opponent can heal, I have to play as if they're going to heal. And then if they don't, that's great, I win the game. But if they do, at least I thought ahead enough in time to be prepared if that sort of situation happens. There aren't too many times I get surprised when I lose with OTT anyways. MLB is always a coin toss, but with OTT, because I already know my deck. If I heal, I know I'm gonna heal. If I don't heal, then I know the game's gonna be over.
Gotcha. I like the mindset. Definitely have more of an appreciation for you as a player. I'll still meme and roast you, but I do respect you as debatably, probably the best player in the circuit. You're not performing great this season, but it's hard to deny the talent that you are. So, with that said, you're Summerfest champion of 2020. What are some of your next goals as far as Vanguard?
As far as Vanguard, win the next circuit, obviously.
Win the next circuit. I like that.
As for like general Vanguard tournaments, I need to perform a lot more consistently in the Morikawa tournaments. You know about those, right?
I don't. Enlighten me.
You don't? Oh my goodness. They basically it's basically like a whole circuit. They have a free tournament every Friday. Top 16 gets into another tournament, and then the winner first place gets 20, second place gets 10, and I think third place gets 5. And top 4 of that tournament gets an invite into like an even bigger tournament. And I believe the prize pool for that one is like $200 for the winner and $50 for second. And
oh wow.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. But I always, every single, I don't think I've won a single one in the months that they have been doing this. I have not won a single tournament, and I think the best I got was second, which isn't bad, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I need to perform better in that tournament. And most tournaments in general, I walk into the tournament with the mindset that I should win it, and if I do lose it, then it's my fault, and there's something I could have done about it. It's always about self-improvement. I don't like to say. There are very few times where I like to blame the game for my loss.
Mm-hmm.
At least when it comes to OTT, because like let's say, I don't know, you have a bad game and you, like, I don't know, soul charge 2 heals or something, and then you have like 2 PGs in the damage zone. It would be easy and comfortable to say, oh well, I mean that's beyond my control. I can't control what I soul charge. I can't control what goes into the damage. But it's those games that you're able to play around and win that I think separate the lucky players from the good, consistent players.
Yeah, that's very true. So for anybody listening, you could be as skilled as you want, but if you don't consistently perform, then it will be hard to consider you a top tier talent. But with all that being said, that's solo. Aren't you still in the midst of competing in team wars with your team HDF?
That's true. HDF is a fantastic team. I did not appreciate the talented individuals I was working with until too late into the tournament. Because HDF was made. It was basically a bunch of randoms.
So you didn't know anyone on the team going into it?
Nah, I knew one person recommended me to join the team, and then I told him I couldn't because I didn't have the money for it. But then he offered to pay for my entry fee, and I figured, well, I mean, I might as well. and it's just history from there. We managed to be lucky enough to get out of the last chance qualifiers, and now I believe, at least at this current point in time, there's one more game left that has to be played, but Team HDF should be going straight to finals next week, unless the last team that has to fight for playoffs gets like a crazy score. If they get like 2-0 and like every game is perfect. So HDF should be at least second place. If I'm understanding the rules right, I could be wrong. We should at least be second place, and then ideally we're gonna be first place, because we have some amazing talent. Like not even talking about me, but just the rest of my team is great.
I'm familiar. My team TOF had the pleasure of matching up against you guys, and you delivered us our first and only 2-0 of the season. Like, we lost 0-2 to you guys. So definitely was on the wrong end of your team there. But have you given any thought to postseason? Will you stay with HDF, or will you weigh all of your options?
I'm gonna go anywhere that pays for that entry fee. I mean, if HDF is gonna try again, and they put enough money for me, I might as well. But honestly, I'll go anywhere as long as it pays. There's another tournament, actually, another team tournament in that Morikawa server, Triple M. What does it stand for? Morikawa Multi-Team Mayhem.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like $10 to get in, and then you could have up to 4 people per team, and that's another big team tournament with that should have a fair amount of money into it. And I managed to find myself a sugar daddy, so I'm definitely gonna try to win that for them. Got to make them proud.
I mean, I got no doubt in your ability to perform, especially after you just showed out on maybe was that the biggest stage that you've been on so far in Vanguard?
Yeah, I can't name anything bigger besides the last invitational, and that was a mess. I've bad memories. I think I made it to top 4, and then I don't think I've ever choked so hard in my life. I miscounted. I was attacking. I'm looking at the stack. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get a stand trigger. Tom lethal, stand it, and then I missed the stack by 1, and then I just lose. It was terrible. But that loss is, if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't have won the one today. So,
okay, so that loss fueled you, huh?
I was ready.
All right, I think that's gonna do it for all the questions that I have for you. Is there any parting words you'd like to say? Shout-outs, maybe?
Shout-outs? Nah. I think the only thing I gotta say is MLB needs a nerf. VP farming is amazing.
Oh, no.
And I take sponsors.
You take sponsors. Patrician Pat takes sponsors. And how can these sponsors reach you?
Just DM me on Discord. Patrician Pat 7887. You can't miss it. Profile picture says Pimp Pat. You'll know it's me. Don't worry.
All right. Well, thank you for the interview. I'm sure I'll see you around plenty in the Vanguard scene. And until next time, folks, your boy Wolf is out.